Okay, this is a Geico commercial, a 30-second one, and I'm going to throw a lot of numbers at you. The lizard voice doesn't work. But please stay with me. In just 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on your car insurance. This company has been offering great rates and great service for over 75 years. That's the same amount of years as I've been alive. At any time you need help, you can speak to one of their trained specialists 24/7. The company is Geico. Go to geico.com today. Sorry for all the numbers. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm out of time.
Now Podcast One brings you Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
Hi, everybody. Here we are. Easter Monday is what I would call Earth Day. No one gives a shit about Earth Day anymore. Just forget that. Let's just wipe that off the calendar. Welcome to Spike's Car Radio. I'm here with Zuckerman. We've got Jonny Lieberman from Motor Trend Magazine coming in. It's not even a magazine anymore. I guess it's a website. Johnny I met at a Lamborghini lunching event. You and I think we've seen him all over Instagram. Mm-hmm. He's just someone we need to meet. Jonny Lieberman. He's a car journalist. He's got his own show, Head to Head, on the Motor Trend Network, the app, or I think they're Velocity. This is why I want him here. Velocity apparently doesn't exist anymore, and Motor Trend does, but then there's this digital Motor Trend. But in any case, he's another one of these guys who knows cars upside down and can answer any question we throw at him.
Really?
Sounds exciting. But before we get into that, Zuckerman, did you abuse food like I did yesterday?
No.
On the holiday?
Okay, it's not my holiday.
What do you mean? Isn't it like Passover or something?
No, you're talking about Easter, where you stuffed yourself with ham, mayonnaise, eggs, all sorts of horrible
I had chicken.
things.
We had delicious chicken. Our friends cooked for us. We had a great party. We played cards. Everyone was very drunk on wine. Not me. Well, you know what? It was actually pretty good most of the meal. I smoked an amazing cigar, a Bolivar cigar from St. Bart's that just blew my mind. And I watched everybody get drunk. And then I came home feeling like kind of happy that I didn't overeat. And Game of Thrones was on.
And then what? Did you eat again?
I ate a pint of ice cream.
Awesome.
McConnell's peppermint that I found in the freezer. And then, you know where I went after that.
Peanut M&Ms.
You got it,
like
my man.
Like a true degenerate.
Yeah.
Tell me something about your holiday. Is Easter,
it's not my holiday. I'm not anything anymore.
Is Easter the day that Jesus comes back to life? Is it the day he gets abducted by aliens and goes up into the sky? Is it the day? Is he still on the cross? Tell me what this is.
I wish I knew. I thought it was the day the kids put on the goofball pastel suits and then they go hunting for Easter eggs. But that's all I really remember about it.
Why do you eat? Why is him coming back to life or hanging on a cross or going up to the sky, why does that impel you, to your people, to eat food?
These aren't my people. I think this is just a holiday, and people are like, why don't we have a barbecue? That's what we did. We smoked chicken.
What's with the eggs?
The Easter eggs?
Yeah, why eggs? What does eggs have to do with it?
You think that's Catholic, the Easter egg?
Well, I don't know.
I don't really know, to be honest with you. Rabbits don't lay eggs. I don't see the correlation in any way.
Do you see a correlation between springtime, Easter, and Passover? Is there a pagan tradition that is coming out in the various...
I feel like I'm in Sunday school again.
Judeo-Christian...
I failed Catholic Sunday school for these
days.
I'm not paying attention. Well, no. After a few of the tall tales didn't resonate with me, arcs and whatnot. I just went, none of this is right.
Those are my dubious ghost stories.
Right.
That's from my sect. Your sect has other ghost stories.
But you know what? I woke up this morning and I got on the internet and I opened up Twitter and I sent you the video. It was actually on Instagram.
That was one of the best things I've ever seen.
Before anybody even knows what we're talking about, there was an Easter bunny in a street fight.
And the Easter bunny prevailed.
And jumped around. And was he fighting a cop or was it?
No. There was somebody, I think, there was a thug who knocked over a bike lady cop.
A bike lady cop. Okay.
And then the thug was going to beat up the bike lady cop, or is that a bike cop lady? And anyway, the Easter bunny helped very much.
And I like the way he danced around after the fighting.
Yes, a victory dance.
But he was good. He was pretty good in that suit. It's really hard. I don't know. Have you ever been in an animal suit?
Okay,
I have.
Between trying to see and trying to throw a punch, I don't know how he was so effective.
I was the Moosehead Moose, as you know, and there's always a little screen to look out the mouth. And if you try to move or even walk too fast, that screen grinds the tip of your nose down, and you bleed.
I would say that Easter Bunny, if he was unhampered by the suit, he would be a real threat.
Unhampered. He kind of knew what he was doing. I think he knew what a great video he was making, and of course, it's going viral as we speak. It was lovely,
and no one knows who he is. He's like that Taco Bell guy.
To me, that was the ultimate expression of Easter. I thought that was perfect. Yeah, that's how this culture, I think, should celebrate Easter.
You know, Passover has one cool element that I've always liked. These 10 plagues that Moses brought down. And some of the plagues, if you read them, frogs, boils.
Yeah.
Boils would be kind of cool if I could, bring down a plague of boils on you or a plague of frogs, on you personally.
Why are you attacking me? It's the day after Easter.
And you're all lethargic, full of ham and mayonnaise.
I didn't eat ham.
Yes, you did.
We had jerk chicken and salads and with fresh mozzarellas, but I ate a lot of cookies. It's what is it? Is it Ben-Hur? Is that the movie they show on Easter that we used to see as a kid? Is another one I used to watch, and I remember the plague of frogs coming down. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's Moses, but that's all right. Ben-Hur's a different thing, but that's all right.
But there were, they were saying this all really happened. And as a little kid, you believe that really happened, and then as you grow out of it, you're like, I'm not going to believe anything.
Of course, you didn't believe it because as little kids, we sat around and saying, "What would you do if you had boils all over your body?"
Well, I like the rain of frogs.
The frogs wouldn't bother me,
and the locusts.
The locusts would bother me, but the frogs would be cool.
Yeah. And weren't they painting goat's blood on doors and things?
Yeah. And then the mist came over and took away.
Yeah, that was scary.
Of the firstborn.
That scared me. Yeah. And I was, that's why, because I'm the firstborn. That terrified me. Is this going to happen to me?
What do you think about Yul Brynner played Pharaoh? But that was
great.
That was in the Ten Commandments. That's not
It's
Ben-Hur.
all the same.
Ben-Hur, they were lepers.
Yul Brynner's great, though, right?
Yes.
Westworld is his crowning achievement.
What did you think about, what was it, The Magnificent Seven?
That was all right.
That was just okay?
Yeah. Not next to Westworld. Westworld blew my mind as a kid. I just thought, wow. That is something. Let's talk about something else that's blowing my mind.
What's blowing your mind?
The 2020 911 Speedster.
Independent throttle bodies.
They had this car in New York, and the world seems to be pretending as if it hadn't been shown anywhere else, but it's been shown all over the place at many different shows. But here it is again. Some new details. $275,000 for this deal, which puts it in GT2 RS range. A little heavier than a GT3. Did you know that, Zuckerman?
Well, that's a surprising.
It's a little heavier.
Is that the top? I used to think convertibles were lighter than vehicles without tops.
Well, it's got the 991 Carrera 4 body. That could be why it's 3,230 pounds.
Versus?
Let's see. I'm sure it's not that much heavier. I don't have that stat here.
Why don't you lose?
First of all, I know that's under 275 is a little high for this car, don't you think? What are your thoughts on this, Zuckerman?
Okay.
I was a little put off by it. Yes, it's almost as much as a GT2 RS, and
there is no reason for this car to be $275,000.
Why is it then?
Because they're figuring they can charge the extra $70,000 versus some sort of black marketeer.
Well, won't the car then just go up anyways? I mean, aren't we just going to build on the 275? Do you know what I'm saying? Won't the brokers say, well, ours is going to be 375 now?
Probably. So listen, I believe a GT3 Touring is 180 to 200. The R was 205. The GT2 RS was 324.
GT3 Touring stickers at 147. It's a normal GT3 price. There was no extra money for the Touring package.
Well, right? I know that, but I'm just saying that I think
so those always spec out to 150 to 175.
I think they're 180. But okay, whatever. There's no reason for a drop top to be that much more.
Correct.
The only thing that what they're getting you on is the desirability. They're getting you on the fact that it's sort of a limited production, and they're going to get you on the excitement factor that you're getting the 992 GT3 engine a couple of years early.
And they had a little party the night before the New York Auto whatever it is that I never go to.
Look, you're
I'm
all
not
sluggish today.
Well, everybody gets all excited about these car shows. I don't. But anyway, because you see everything on the internet, it doesn't matter. But they had the red Speedster there. Mr. Seinfeld was there looking at while Andreas Pruniger showed him how the roof worked. It looked like a nice night. Looked like a lot of fun. But what you immediately noticed is the Talbot mirrors are gone. Those little bullet silver mirrors are gone. The center fuel filler's gone. All of the bits and pieces that we were excited about have disappeared. There's my energy, Zuckerman. Are gone. It feels bait and switchy. Even the meatball, what they call the gumball, and that front end treatment is missing. And then we have to we learn about this heritage package, right? Which is, somebody sent it to me again. I think it was like $10,000 to get the heritage package to make it look like the concept car.
So now you're $285?
I think, yeah. Don't quote me on that number. I get a lot of direct messages, and we have a lot of good sources on this. Somebody said, "Hey, guess what that's going to cost?" And I remember going, "Well, that's too much money."
They know how to pull the dollars out of you, just like a good.
They do. But for this car, you need the heritage package. Now, I happened to be chatting with Porsche last week and said, everybody's talking about the individual throttle balls, the ITBs that they're all excited about. And he was telling me, this guy at Porsche was talking about it. And I go, why am I excited about this? And they said, well, it's going to, not that the current GT3 has great throttle response, it's going to make it even that much better. Like the GT3R, like the race car.
They come up with their snake oil wagon. They drop the sides of the wagon, and they start to give this pitch. Independent throttle bodies. This is going to make your
everybody's
world
going
better.
Crazy.
And it works.
But
it works.
The three of us were talking about it, and then I went, what is that? And everybody went, I don't know. But then a quicker response off the pedal, that got me kind of excited, because that, to me, is what I love about a GT3 and a normally aspirated car, is that quick throttle response. And if it's noticeably different and faster, I like that. I'm excited about that.
And here's another funny point. I believe BMW's had this in their cars
well, that doesn't
forever.
Matter,
that doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
No.
We all
don't
act
drive
like it's
that.
new.
Well, you do.
we all act like it's new. It's not new.
Well, but it's from the GT3R, a legit race car. You see what I'm saying? So we can all pretend we're in a GT3R.
Okay, how are we getting one of these?
I don't want one.
Here's another funny factor. How many cars in the 991 family did we actually like? How many did they get us to really buy?
A few.
Quite a few.
Independent throttle bodies. That's what it is. Like a GT3R race car, for improved response and what we have to imagine is magnificent noise. That's Road and Track's writing. It makes 502 horsepower, which is noticeably 2 horsepower more than our GT3, right?
Yep.
Good enough to get from 0 to 60
There they go.
0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, top speed of 192. Here's the deal, all right?
What was the 0 to 60?
It's the same, 3.2 seconds, but I thought these were all manual transmissions, right? Yeah, they're all manual transmission cars. So I don't know if you're actually going to get 3.2 with your old man shifting in this, folks. Here's the deal. You're not going to have any separation from the beautiful noise of this car, and that's what's going to make the car, right? You've got, you have a 991 Cabriolet. You get to hear the car in a different way, and that does affect your driving. Does it affect your driving to the tune of $300,000? No, I don't think so. But right? Because couldn't you just get a standard 991.2, throw on a stainless steel exhaust, and have a nice sound for a lot less money?
I'm a sucker for open tops and open top with speed.
Right. There was that car. What was that car that Jaguar made? They had a car.
The F-Type.
No, yeah, it wasn't the F-Type, but they did a special edition with the meatball on it.
Yes, the Project 1.
Yeah,
Project 170.
Project 7.
Project 7.
Right.
And that was very cool, very fast, open top.
I wonder where those values crashed and nobody bought them, and then I thought they went up for a while. But that looks to me like a similar car. I don't know. I guess I'm curious, what it's going to be like to drive something with a gumball on the side and a white treatment in the front. Okay, here's something else I heard. I also said, well, what's the deal? Why can you only get GT Silver and white? And my source said you can get. There are going to be a few more colors with the heritage package, which currently hasn't been reported.
Really,
I thought that was pretty good because I didn't. Frankly, I mean, think of you don't want every car to be silver with white gumballs,
dirty
right?
Dirty secret keepers they are.
Yeah.
Dirty secret keepers make you.
He wasn't being secret. He was just like, this is all we know right now.
Secret keepers.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it is beautiful. It's a beautiful car, but. Could you have a GT3 Touring in this? No.
Why not?
I think this is a better complement to a GT2 RS than a GT3 Touring is. That's just my... Don't you... I mean, you came here in your 911R. You're driving a GT2 RS. Have you driven the other GT3 Touring? You have access to two of them right now, Zuckerman. Are you in that car a lot, or...
Well, okay. I was in the GT3 Touring more because of the 18-way comfort seats.
Right.
Now, my good friend, Dr. Kasimian, one of the preeminent spine surgeons, sent me over 10 lumbar supports. 10.
10?
And I do need not more than one, really, but I have one in the 911R, and that has changed my ability to drive that car.
Yeah, I noticed this morning you pulled in behind me in the 911R, and I was like, what's the deal? That's got sports seats. You never drive these cars.
Well, now I can.
And it works.
It works.
And what does it feel like? A fist in your back when you're leaning back?
It gives your back the right angle. It pushes out your lower back, and it just allows me to sit comfortably. It gives me a little recline.
And how can people get these things? Are they available wide? I know Dr. Kasimian doesn't.
They're widely available.
So it's just it's a small rectangular kind of triangular lumbar support.
It's rectangular with a little bulge in the lower back.
Wow.
Bulge.
And that
it's
does
got a
it.
Bulge, Ferriston. Do you have a bulge?
Yeah, you got a bulge. Oh, I heard it. Yeah. He's the 50-year-old Beavis and Butthead. Bulge.
A bulge. I tell you what, when this airs, I will also on that day on my Instagram, in my story, post a picture of these lumbar supports.
We all know what lumbar support looks like. I'm glad it works for you, though. It's good.
Life-changing.
You're excited about it.
Life-changing.
Because how do you not drive in that R?
Right, because now I can drive the 4.0.
Did you beep at me, by the way, when you were behind me?
Yes, that was me.
You know what's funny? What's funny about that beep is it sounds like any other car. I looked behind and I saw the R, and I go, that couldn't have possibly come from the R.
Why should it should have its own beep, like a bird?
Kind of.
It should have its own call?
Like a meep more than a beep. It should go meep.
You remember
it should
those?
Have something
like those old road runners. That used to have the meep beep.
Yeah, or like an old Speedster or 356. It should have its own distinct tone, but it just sounded like everything else.
I think horns all sound alike now. They're uniform.
Well, what do you think, Zuckerman? People want to know what we think about this Speedster.
Okay, if I can get an allocation at Sticker and I can rope in a couple of people into one of my Ponzi schemes,
yep,
I'm thrilled.
And would you do the Heritage package?
Yes, of course.
You've got to, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stupid if you didn't.
Would you look into replacing the mirrors with Talbot mirrors?
No.
That
would look silly.
Why
don't we just...
Why can't we take that car and make it into the show car and do the center fuel filler and go, we want it the way you did it originally?
Speaking of mirrors, this is a little bit of an aside. Do you remember the guy who was driving around the Malibu Country Market with his cat lashed to the mirror?
Yeah.
He was there last week.
He was?
He was there with the cat.
I photographed him. I videoed him 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes.
That you're telling me that cat is still alive?
The cat is still lashed to his mirror.
He's on the passenger side exterior. Right, yes. half in the car, half out of the car,
and there's like a surfboard leash or a bungee cord, and he's tied to the mirror.
And he plays loud music, and he drives around with a cat hanging out.
Yes,
right, against his will.
Now, if you got Talbot mirrors on the Speedster with a Heritage package and a cat, I'd be thrilled to do that.
By the way, there are a lot of crazy people starting to show up out there, right? You got the crazy
the talker. The busy talker.
The busy talker is fascinating to me because I've seen him now 3 times, and it's been 3 different cars.
But he's clearly insane and clearly not capable of independent living.
He's got some issue going on. But what I like about him is he looks at the people on the porch, and he vibes on their conversations from halfway across the lot.
Yes, a good 75 yards.
When you and I were talking, and I was laughing, you were making me laugh, and I would go, ha, ha, ha. I would notice he was rearing back, but halfway across the parking lot. And then I noticed it wasn't a coincidence, that he would stop, and he was looking at me. What is that? Does he just is this just a safe distance for him to interact with us on the porch? Is that what it is? And by us, I mean anybody who happens to be out there. People would clap and go or sing happy birthday. He would sing.
I guess he desires human contact, but from a safe distance.
And
I
then you said,
understand that.
why don't you go say hi to him on the way out? So I backed out on the way out, and I pulled up next to him, and he was laughing. He seems like a really happy chap.
He actually was oriented in some way to our conversation. He said something that was pertinent, right?
So he laughs. He's funny. But I was telling you what happened. They don't know what happened. And you said, go say hi to him. So I do. But I think he's a happy human being, right? And I pull up next to him and I go, how you doing? And he's smiling and laughing. And he looks at me, but he keeps talking. And I go, how are you doing, man? And he goes, go fuck yourself. Really? A very quick shift into extreme anger. And then I felt like I'm in danger. You put me in danger, Zucker.
That made me so happy.
It made me laugh really hard, but I was really a little afraid. And then we were out there with Jerry last week, right?
Yeah.
And you said, go say hi to him again and see what happens. And so I pulled up again next to him, but a little further away. And this time he stayed happy, but he was having an imaginary conversation with Jason Alexander, who played George on Seinfeld.
Yes.
Yes. And I said, what are you doing? He said, oh, Jason Alexander, you know I play George. He goes, how you doing? He goes, leave me alone, I'm busy. I don't know. Charming. And not the only crazy. There's also the guy on the motorcycle who drives by, Cab
Right.
Calloway, with the music playing.
Right. Everybody's different.
Is that place falling apart?
Yes, the whole world is.
The whole world is.
The whole world is
Well,
falling
that's
apart.
why I was making fun of Earth Day. Again, Jonny Lieberman from Motor Trend is coming in here.
And at some point,
And by the way, he got a flat tire. He guess he's got a press car. He's got a flat tire. He said he was going to what? Fix it, and then Uber in.
for the love
He's
of
going
God,
to take it in somewhere to get it
totally
fixed.
What
and
is
Uber
that?
over. He said he was going to take it somewhere to get it fixed, and then Uber over here.
Oh, come on.
That's a weird thing to do before a
Right.
podcast,
He's not coming.
huh?
He's not coming. Let's
Johnny?
go. Yeah, because I have to leave. I have to go make some money.
So you're saying a Zuckerman would leave and then a Lieberman would sit down?
So
It
yeah,
sounds
different,
the same.
but the same.
The same. I think you're going to enjoy each other.
I will
guys.
enjoy him if he gets here by 11.
Right. Do you want to wish Matt Fair a happy wedding?
On 420. Did you get it?
I thought the pictures
get
were
it?
beautiful. Of
They
the wedding.
were
I thought
beautiful,
they were
and-
delightful. He looked really happy. I was happy for him. Seemed like a great weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another guy is betting on black.
What does that mean?
Okay, statistically,
Yes.
I think that you are basically betting red or black at the casino when you enter into marriage.
Red or black?
Red or black. It's
Okay.
a 50-50.
Really?
Right. Yes, 50-50.
You don't think anybody's really good at picking someone?
Actually, they should have a different statistic. We know that 50% of marriages end in divorce,
Yes.
approximately.
Okay.
But of the remaining 50 that do not end in divorce, how many of them are good? Even, yeah, there you go.
What's good?
Exactly. How many guys would say, you know, I love my wife, but if I never saw her again, wouldn't be a big deal. Out of those remaining 50% that are still married, how many would shrug their shoulders? How many wives would say, you know what, I hate that fucking guy. Burping, farting,
asshole.
lazy. Yeah, he's an asshole.
What an asshole that guy is.
The way he talks,
Well, you're crazy.
the way he acts, he never takes out the trash. He doesn't know where anything is. He acts like he's a visitor.
I think more husbands take out the trash than you think, Zuckerman.
didn't-
Do you take the trash out? Are you a
course.
trash taker outer? I don't like trash in my house. I take it out
No,
all
when
the
it
time.
builds up and it smells, I hate the smell of garbage. You smell like garbage.
I had to. I got in my wife's car the other day, that BMW plug-in, and it smelled like garbage. And then I went to my 9-year-old. I go, dude, with a good nose. I said, James, what's up with Mom's car? And he goes, I don't know. I hate it. It smells like garbage. I'm like, yeah, what's happening in there? She's like, Jack, and, you know, they eat in there,
Yes,
and they leave the windows up.
food.
And I had to get them all in a room and tell them, here's our kitchen garbage can. I want you to smell it. It smells bad, right? And we're changing those bags daily, if not every other day. But now you're spilling food and syrupy drinks and other things in here, and then you're leaving it in the sun and up. And do you notice the similarities between your car and this trash can? Right? My wife, of course, did not want to hear this. But I called, I have a guy come by on Saturdays who does the cars at the house, Mario. Mario Torres is his name. He's a genius.
Can you get out trash smell?
And Mario is a man. And I said, Mario, I want you to fix this. And he goes, I'm going to fix it. He goes, I want you to go at this car. I want you to do anything you want to the interior, but I want you to get the trash smell out. Mario killed it, and we have a reset on the car. I liked it so much, I drove the car all weekend because it just was perfect again. It was new. This is a fairly new car. But I don't think after I gave my family the reset that they're going to...
No, they won't.
They're not even going to pay attention to it.
And I personally have a rule. No leftovers, no doggy bags from the restaurant in any of my cars. You want to take a doggy bag with you? Take an Uber home.
The only thing you'll leave in the car is green teas, but they're always capped, and that's fine.
That's fine. I'll leave those in there.
And your pills, your various pills. I find water bottles under the chair. It's really not you.
It's all right.
Remember our mutual friend who left groceries in the front boot?
Yes. Yes, I do. And that's my point.
Can I tell you what I saw on the front of your other car that you share with him, since this is a Porsche podcast?
Oh, God, I didn't know. Please. Please.
I feel like, I know I wouldn't do it in our personal life because I don't want to ruin your day and make your day more stressful, but on the Porsche podcast, people are very much interested in Plan Z, and you have that beautiful black 4.0 GT3.
997 RS
which could be, by the way, not only my favorite car of yours that you own, but also just one of my favorite cars. The GT3, I drove it when you were moving lots and I was helping you move stuff. It's such an exceptional sounding, beautiful driving.
A pinnacle.
It really is something. It really is something, those 4.0s. And you've got the perfect one, the black one, and everything else.
And he treats
and you're
it like
sharing
a
it
Corolla.
with our mutual friend Moise.
Yeah.
Right? Who's got a lot of dough. I said he founded Splendid Mills, that shop, sold it for a lot of money. It's got clothing, made a lot of dough. But a guy's kind of a mess when it comes to cars, right? And he, not surprisingly, not a big deal, chin spoiler. It's all fucked up on that car, which is all right because, look, you messed up the one on the GT2 RS. He messed up the one on our mutual chalk one. I'm sure I've added a divot to the bottom of him as well. It's hard to keep those things okay. But I saw something on the 4.0 that bummed me out. And I don't know how he did it or what it is. And I know it's easy to fix, I think, because that piece is... You probably fix, get that big plastic
chin spoiler.
And it's not the chin spoiler, it's the paint on the front.
Oh, you're kidding me.
But there's like a wood nail hole in it. Like he drove into a nail and then pulled out.
Oh,
just above.
Are you kidding me?
But it's in the bumpery part of the plastic there.
So it's above the chin spoiler.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! You got to hear. You want to hear it. You see, this is.
Look at Will. Even Will is hurt listening to this story. I was hurt when I saw it.
This car is worth a significant sum of money, and it's a very rare car. Remember, at that time, they made 600 of these 4.0s. And remember when he was driving around with bird shit on it, and he said he liked it that way? Oh, I like it like this. And then he parked it by a sprinkler and all of those water drops. And now
that didn't bother me so much, because vinegar takes that stuff out. You can take that out pretty quickly if you do it. But do you ever see the guy in Hollywood driving the silver Lusso around?
Yeah.
Who's the same deal, just leaves it outside and drives it.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. You're not that. I kind of respect that guy. He knows he's just here for a little while. He doesn't need to worry about money. He's just going to drive that thing and enjoy it.
Are you like me? A clean car in good repair drives better and makes you feel better.
This is why I'm telling you about it. Yeah.
Right. So I don't respect that guy. I think he's weird.
I want you to take. There needs to be an intervention here.
With Mo, there can be no intervention. And meanwhile, he's got very significant art, and I say to him, would you take your art? Would you take your Terrell? Would you take any of these Irving Penn and things and put them outside under a sprinkler, let birds shit on them, drive nails through them?
Okay, look, we're going to go to a commercial in 1 second, but let me tell you a story that kind of illustrates the other side of this that I am the perpetrator of. This weekend, my wife says yesterday, before the little Easter party we're going to, let's ride our bikes down to the farmer's market. I go, sure thing. I fill up all the tires. We get on the bikes, and we head down, all right? First thing Dad does is he's got the little lock with the key in it in his little basket on his bike. Gets to the farmer's market, the key has dropped out. Now we have no way to lock the bikes up. Second, I pull the bikes off to the side where we are by the farmer's market. We're sitting there eating some strawberries, and what do I hear? but a giant pop, like a gun going off. Like boom! Like that. All the families duck for a second. My rear tire exploded.
Sounds like the Three Stooges.
Okay, but and I'm like, what? I've never had this happen where it's sitting there, it explodes, right? Now I'm stuck. My wife and I don't have our phones. It was a horrible way to start off the morning, all right? But now I'm going back in my head, and I'm remembering the guys who came by from Beeline said, your tires are 10 years old. And I'm like, what? What does that matter? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I Moeased the bike. And then I'm looking at the tire. I've got a 10-year-old tire here, and I'm looking at the bike. It's a mess.
Bikes
and
are
I was telling my
different.
friends about it. He has the same story. He has these beautiful, expensive bikes, and his bike guy went, "Why are you doing this to these bikes?" And I suddenly related to Moease.
No,
and I said, because bikes don't matter.
Yeah, bikes don't matter. Bikes don't matter.
But to bike people, the bike matters.
Oh, really? And so do
Yes.
their little stretchy pants and their genital-hugging stretch pants
I don't do
and
that.
cleats and,
No.
and filthy
But I'll
behavior.
tell you what. There's a couple of I have somebody on Instagram who made a bike based on our Chalk GT2 RS and our Chalk GT3 Touring in the same color spec as our car. That was pretty great. And then this outfit up in Santa Cruz Bikes, makes another chalk colored bicycle with the same accents with the yellow and black that are significantly more expensive than my little Globe $200, whatever it is, hybrid deal. And I don't know. I think I might start jumping into the bike world, the mountain bike. I promise you, Zuckerman, I will not wear pants. I will not do it. But I do.
But you won't wear any pants.
Well, I will do that. But I do want kind of an off-road bicycle now.
Just don't drive on Sunset. Don't drive anywhere where cars going to turn.
I don't even
with
want to
your
tell you.
jam.
Yeah, you're right. No, I know.
I don't even want to talk to you.
No. My wife suggested that my kids drive to school on their bikes next year on Sunset.
What is she, crazy?
Over the weekend.
Did she buy funeral plots?
She goes, there's sidewalk in most places.
Really?
Yeah. I had to explain to her that it was a highway. Anyway, Jonny Lieberman's here. His flat tire is fixed. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. The most cost-effective way to customize your car is starting behind the wheel, so why not check out Caliper Covers? They are fully licensed with most auto manufacturers, plus a 3-year warranty, and are made here in the U.S. Let me tell you, if you want a new cover for your car, you need to check out Caliper at calipercovers.com. With MGP caliper covers, you can design your own style to enhance your car. There are so many logos to choose from, or you can use your own with any auto color. If you wanted it, you could upload the logo for Spike's Car Radio, SCR. Make that your caliper cover. You could be one of the true fans repping the SCR logo everywhere you go. So why aren't you being that fan? Why, I ask you? At calipercovers.com, pick your make, model, year, and submodel of your vehicle and select Customize to start the process. All customized orders usually ship within 10 business days. You get it? Don't design t-shirts. Don't design caps. Design caliper covers at calipercovers.com. It's easy to install and comes with a 3-year warranty and lifetime stainless steel clips. Lifetime stainless steel clips. These are made with aerospace aluminum and powder coated, and they will dissipate brake heat and reduce brake dust. I, Spike Ferriston, recommend calipercovers.com for all of you listeners of this humble broadcast. These are good guys with a good product, and right now use your promo code SPIKE10 for 10% off and free ground shipping within the continental U.S. Don't wait. Go to calipercovers.com. Use the code SPIKE10. That's calipercovers.com. Enter SPIKE10 for 10% off.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
We got Jonny Lieberman in the studio. Johnny, you had a flat tire?
3 flat tires in 2 days. Yeah.
Nails?
What happened?
I don't know.
Construction.
I don't know.
Is this a press car? Or
No,
is
this is
your
my
own?
car. The press car I managed to get 2 flats on yesterday, which is why I was down a car, and then I was going to take my car and rear tires flat.
What press cars? What cars?
I had an Audi Q8.
Mm.
And I was just I was like, this is the stupidest excuse in the world, but I was like singing to my kid, and I'm, getting into the left turn lane, and I just didn't see a curb, pop up, and that was
Awesome.
that. Yeah. 2 flats instantly.
Easter.
Now wait, the Audi
Yeah.
Q8.
Yeah,
Is there
22-inch Hankook tires, which are not stocked anywhere.
any? Well, if it's, why do you have to fix it? It's a press car. Can't you
Well,
call them up and tell them and bring them a
It
tire?
was what was yesterday to non-Jews was Easter, so
Yes.
no one was
To
doing
Jews, it's
anything.
just another bad day
Yeah,
for our for our people.
right. So
is there any Lamborghini Urus in the Audi Q8?
I'm picking one up today. Oh, in the Audi
Is there any
Q8.
relation?
The
Do you-
size.
That's
the
it.
size. Yeah.
Do they share components? Is there anything?
I mean, so the platform is what's called MLB Evo 2. So anything from an Audi A4 up to the Urus, including Bentayga, Cayenne, the RS7, they're all the same platform.
MLB, Major League Baseball, Evo 2. There
Yes,
you go.
yeah.
Well named.
Did
and,
you like the Q8?
Yeah, for $90,000, I'd want a V8. And honestly, my big gripe with the irony of life, my big gripe with the car was the monster tires because 22s are so big.
Right.
All I'm thinking driving the thing is like it takes a lot to accelerate these wheels and tires. It takes a lot to brake them. So your inputs are harder and you're getting on the gas harder. It's got plenty of power. It's just that because they're so big. And I was just the whole time I'm like, man, I'd like it on 20s. And like my partner Jethro, I was talking to him, and he had a diesel one in England in 20s, and he's like, "Oh, mate, it was fantastic." Blah blah blah. And then I pop them. So
There you go. And
Yeah.
why do they need to make a Q8?
to
Who is
sell.
it for?
I mean,
But they have.
they have a Q7
That had a third row.
which is a 3-row. So not everyone wants a 3-row, and SUVs are so popular now they're replacing coupes.
Right.
So no one's buying the A8, sales proof. A7, gorgeous car. S7, gorgeous car. But like some SUVs are hot. 63% of all passenger cars sold now are trucks or SUVs. So they just want to make money like any other business.
But the
and
how is the Q8 different than the Q7?
it's
I
a
guess
2-row. It's a shorter wheelbase. It's a 2-row. It's it's more premium.
Why wouldn't they call that a
Counterintuitive it would be a lower number
Yeah,
than a high.
Q6. Why wouldn't they call that the Q6?
Because 8's more
Oh,
important.
they should call it the Q6. I agree with you on that. But that's just their. It's like BMW just came
No,
out
I
with the
know.
8 Series, which is a
Yeah.
replacement for the 6 Series. It's the
Yeah.
same car.
Right.
It's smaller than the 7 Series. But anyways, yeah, it's popular. I think they're going to make an SQ8, which is going to have a 4-liter twin turbo V8 that will be related to the Urus, and that'll be an awesome car.
Right.
Super gas sucker.
Well, yeah, sure, but world's going to hell anyways. But
As we said on Earth
yeah,
Day.
yeah.
Happy Earth Day.
But
Happy Earth Day.
The most irrelevant day, Earth Day we've ever had. I know.
Yeah, but anyway, no. So yeah, I think the Q8's good. $90,000. The one I had, which didn't have a ton of options and was kind of gray with a black interior. Bit of a stretch for me, But if you're in the market for a X6 or one of those weird Mercedes GLE coupes, this
whatever
is a
that
beautiful
is.
competitor.
What do you drive?
I have a Ford Fiesta ST.
That's your car,
Nice.
and
That's
that's
my
your
car.
family car.
No, my family car's an Audi A4, but my wife's in it.
Right.
Or
Right.
it's an all-road actually. But,
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so the Ford's mine. I always say I don't really need a car until today when I actually needed a car. So
So you were in which car that you got a flat today?
the Fiesta.
The Fiesta.
Yeah, I started going down the hill, and I'm like, oh, it feels like I'm dragging something.
Oh
and I
no,
thought maybe
that's the worst.
We had some construction done. They repaved our street. And there's
Nails.
there's cones everywhere, so I thought I'd run over a cone without seeing it. And,
Without seeing it, do you drink that much?
no, but these cones get moved around. You know what I
Right.
mean? I just come to the car and was ready to
So
go.
you.
Yeah.
But what was it? A nail?
I don't know.
You
I
don't know.
honestly flipped out. I have this company, Zip Tire, who I'll plug because he's my buddy. But
Go ahead.
they're mobile tire service. So
Really?
instead of having to go to like Tire Rack or
Yeah.
America's Tire or anything like that, they just come to your house.
Do they
with
have
the
Porsche
tires.
tires?
Most of their business is Porsche.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
And they patch tires?
Yeah, but I wouldn't patch a tire. I just replace a tire. That's me.
But
Okay.
they'll
That's it.
come with a
They'll
tire.
order the tires for you. They'll show up. They have a balancer and everything.
Oh,
and,
shit.
and even better for what I do, they can do 22-inch tires. They can do
Right.
Center wheel lock.
345. Oh yeah. They're Porsche specialists actually.
Can
So
they do
can
it in the same day?
Yeah.
They can.
That is a good thing.
Well,
to
there
know.
you go.
No, Zip Tire rules.
You can leave now.
So anyways,
We need
yeah.
this.
No, I was calling Zip Tire, freaking
Right.
out, and then I was like, oh my god, I have to show up on Spike's show. And then just,
Well, this is good, though. Flat tire. Yeah, Will called me panicked. I go, no, that sounds like this is good. I want to hear this. I love the little adventures
Life in
around,
LA.
the car adventures around L.A.
Yeah.
Because we go through these runs. I went through I think a 4 or 5 nail and 2-day run on a variety of different cars. And then it goes away. And then it disappears all of a sudden.
I haven't had a flat tire. I can't even remember the last time.
Right.
Okay, I can. It was a BMW M2 about 18 months ago.
All right. Well, you and I, you and I met at this Lamborghini deal, right?
We did.
And I follow you on Instagram. I've been curious about Jonny Lieberman for a long time. I know I've seen you over and over again up in Monterey at Spanish Bay smoking cigars a few tables behind us.
That's one of my very favorite
Never
things
met
to
you
do.
when I was doing Car Matchmaker. And I know you're deeply involved in Motor Trend. I have a lot of questions about Motor Trend. First and foremost, all right?
Yeah.
Because I'm in the TV business.
Yeah.
Velocity doesn't exist anymore. The Velocity
right.
channel is now called
Motor Trend.
Motor Trend.
Yeah.
And it's on DirecTV, Time Warner. We can still get that where we get our cable
73 million homes in the U.S. and
Okay.
75 million homes outside the U.S. and growing.
Now, separately from that, there's also a paid app.
Yes.
And how does that work?
Give us $5 a month. We give you really cool car content you can't see anywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you are part of... You were writing for Motor Trend, the magazine.
Still do. I'm on the cover
and
this
still
month.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Run out to the newsstands everywhere. You can see my beautiful face on the cover of a magazine. Imagine
And
that.
they then took you and said, we'd like you to be part of this media empire, this content empire as well.
In a way.
In the TV business.
Yeah, that's
So-
a very shortened version of what actually happened. But
Are you-
What happened was, I'll tell you what happened real quick. We wanted to do video. Angus McKenzie, who used to be the editor-in-chief of Motor Trend, very forward-looking man, said, you know what? I think this video thing has a future, especially with cars. We should get into that. And so I was a writer for the magazine, and they were running around with cameras and putting cameras in people's faces. And for whatever reason, I didn't clam up. I was okay. So they said, okay, you can keep doing videos. And we just started not even just started. We just wrapped our 4th episode of the 8th season of a show called Head to Head.
Right.
That I've been involved with pretty much since the beginning.
And that's on the app. Now,
That's on the app.
That's paid
Yeah,
content on the app.
Yeah, and then once in a while they'll cut them down and they'll put them on the TV channel, but the new ones are on the
Got
app.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, are you a network executive too, or do you have an office at Discovery? Do you see what I'm saying? Getting at?
No,
Because you
no,
keep making
no.
announcements, and I go like, do you?
I'm on message, but I'm not.
You're-
I'm not.
okay.
I'm not.
You're not one of those
I'm
guys.
not one of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Understood. Understood. Now I get it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that clears
Yeah.
up a lot.
I like my job. It's a fun job. You know?
It seems like it.
It's
and
like-
Head to Head, you guys are in what season of that show?
8.
Season 8.
Although if you go on the app, it says season 10. Don't ask. Internally, it's season 8.
And tell everybody what the show's about. you know?
We have 2 cars,
Right.
and we match them up, and we say one car is better than the other. So, for instance, last episode we just wrapped, we had a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon and a Mercedes-Benz G550 with the off-road package,
Right.
and we beat the cars up off-road. We just did like snow, mud, trophy truck course, Moab, a place called Montrose, Colorado, which has like a mini off-roading kind of thing to it. So just beat the cars.
And what was the result?
You gotta subscribe to the app. Actually, you have about 2 months of editing, and then you can subscribe to the
okay.
Now, are these press cars?
Oh, yeah.
And when you get these cars, do you say, "Look, I'm going to ruin this thing"?
Well, we try our hardest not to ruin things. That said,
You're saying you beat the fuck out of them, though.
That said, well, this one, look, when we're doing an off-road one, we're going to Moab. They know all
Right,
bumpers will
right.
be scratched,
Yes.
all undercarriages will be banged up. But yeah, no damage whatsoever in Moab. I mean, there was a weird on the back of the driver's side running board on the Mercedes. There's like a plastic cover on the very back, and there's one on the front too. That got loose. I think that was the extent of the damage.
Have you ever had a manufacturer come to you and go, "Look, you went too far here"?
Yeah, all the time. But I've been yelled at.
What do you mean?
Well,
Describe
when you,
that.
if
like
you,
what
if,
I'm trying to,
if you,
because
if
I
you,
get
like,
press
total,
cars
if
too.
you total a car, they're not happy.
If you total a car,
Yeah, they're not.
That's
happy
the
about
line.
that. No, I mean, that's not even the line. Look, cars are insured. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not the end of the universe as long as no one's injured.
Right.
The worst thing you could do would be to injure somebody. That would be a really bad thing the manufacturer would
Right. Okay.
not like. If it's
Right.
a car, look, they're multi-billion-dollar multinational corporations with factories that can make new parts. It's not the end
Are
of the
these
universe.
press cars? I've heard some of them have VIN numbers. Some of them don't.
I've never seen one without a VIN. No, okay, well, to be fair, sometimes...
I thought there were a bunch of Gladiators out right now that were just...
Right. Okay, so sometimes you get, like, super early... every car has a VIN, but you get, like, super early ones that'll never be sold. Like,
right.
I had a Kia Stinger long-termer that was actually one of the cars from the launch. So the VIN was super low. I feel it was, like, 200-something. And that car will be taken back and probably crushed or ripped apart and studied, that type of thing. Because we had it for, over a year. But and once in a while, you find out cars are going to get crushed. Like I remember we had this one Viper, and it was like legally has to go to the crusher, can't be sold. If anybody like gets injured in it, then Chrysler's there's opened up to liability.
This is a good show for you. The Crusher. Because there's a guy on Instagram right now who, I don't know how he got one of these demo Gladiators, but he's like, they're going to crush this car in a couple of weeks. And I think there should be some ceremony. There's no way we can stop it from happening.
Yeah.
But then it just disappears like some cat you didn't want,
yeah.
and it's taken to the SPCA.
Could...
What a great show to have a proper funeral for this car.
Once in a while, we get offered stuff like that. Like Top Gear actually swooped in and stole it from us. But one time, Bentley was like, listen, we have some Continental
right
can't go home.
Right.
We don't want it back. Do you want to do something with it?
Yeah.
And we're like, yes, we're going to take it to Australia and drive it across Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't figure what happened. And the next thing they're like, oh, Top Gear's doing that. And I think they actually did that.
Wow.
They actually took
and then destroyed it at the very end.
I don't know. I never saw the episode.
That's a natural ending. You finally have an ending for your bit right there.
Yeah, it is a good ending.
Drive it right into the Crusher.
Yeah.
Throw a mobster in there, Zuckerman, too. Yeah. While you're crushing it.
But there's a lot of cars that just have to get crushed. They just can't be sold, and they're not 100% production. And so even if like a warning sticker's not there and somebody kills somebody else, a good lawyer's like
me.
Where was that warning sticker? Totally liable,
There you go. So that's their big fear.
I like the idea if we could come up with the no VIN number car, and it could be like black helicopters. We could have conspiracy theorist people out there. It's a no VIN number
What
car.
about an electronic VIN? Like the electronic license plate.
They're talking about electronic VINs. I've heard that mentioned before.
That should be that, because then we could hack it and put whatever number we wanted on there. The Hungarian could help us out.
The Hungarian.
That's our man.
Yeah.
Yes. We can get a special device that you plug in to the port and change the numbers.
Right.
Or you just swap the VIN plates. But anyways, actually, all cars actually have 5 VIN plates, 4 are hidden.
Where are they hidden?
I don't know. I've never looked, but there's 4.
Really?
Let's find out.
Apparently, really good car thieves and people that commit crimes and dump the car. They know where to look. But,
really?
Yeah, there's 5 VIN plates.
Getting back to these manufacturers,
yes.
Who's the most difficult? I think I know, but go ahead. Yeah, I want to hear your opinion.
Can't say that.
Come on. Nobody's listening to this.
All right, let me mouth it without
yeah,
saying
okay,
it, and
okay,
you
okay.
tell me yes or no.
Okay. Was that one syllable?
It was an Italian car
Oh
company.
no. The answer is. Hang on, let me just think about this for a second. No, I think.
Really?
Were you saying Ferrari?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, they used to be.
Yes.
They used to be. They've improved greatly.
They have.
They've improved.
They have a great press rep out here in LA.
Yeah, Joe Richardson's
Joe's
awesome.
the
Joe's
best.
very mad at me right now, but Joe Richardson.
He's a little mad. He was a little mad at me too.
Because nobody's listening.
Well, this I can say. We
Joe,
I don't want to get into exactly how the sausage is made, but they decided this issue.
Yes.
The cover should be me and Jethro on the cover.
Okay.
In a Dodge Red Eye doing a burnout.
And this is your co-host.
Yeah, Jethro Bovingdon.
Okay,
he's
got
my
it.
co-host. He's awesome. He lives in London, but he's doing a big burnout, and I'm sitting next to the car cheering, and there's a Ferrari behind us.
Oh, bad optics. Ooh.
Bad optics. Even though, if you read the article, we're like, the 812 Superfast is probably the last great supercar that will ever exist. There's no car better. The engine is the best engine of all time.
Yep.
The gearbox is perfect. The car is actually amazing. They hated the cover a lot. So
now, see, I had the Portofino. Joe was going to put me in both cars. He said, which do you want to drive first? I thought I would start with the Portofino, go to the 812.
Yeah.
And then I put a picture of me and Zuckerman up and promoting this podcast, Spike's Car Radio. And then it was, here's what's in the podcast, and it was all about the Porsche 944. So here's a picture of me and Zuckerman in the Portofino, and then Porsche below.
Yeah.
And that's what got me in trouble.
Oh, okay.
And now this was an extra post that I was doing for Ferrari because I loved the car so much.
It's a nice car, right?
And Joe totally understood, but he's like,
Yep.
you put the word Porsche near Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I said, what?
Yeah.
And then I didn't get the 812 because of it.
Really?
Oh, that's too bad. You should.
I'll
you
get
should
it.
Go
They
out
said they're
of
going to
your
bring.
way to drive that car.
I
Yeah.
am. Well,
It's
That good.
It's seriously
Joe?
great. Yeah.
Joe will fix it.
Yeah.
Joe
But
is-
Ferrari's not even close to the worst.
Okay,
I can't say.
Okay, what country is it from?
I can't. It's too obvious.
Is
what I
it
say.
obvious?
Yeah. It's just
It's not our. It's not. They're not
Is
our
it in
friends at
Asia?
Porsche.
What, okay, what kind? What?
Porsches.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Asia, Europe, America.
I've said too much. Come on. I didn't come here to get
Mouth
yelled
it.
at. I came here to
Come
have
on.
a good time.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
You like getting yelled at.
No, I don't. I
Yes,
don't. I really
we're
don't.
Hebrews.
All right,
We
well,
are
we're
used to
gonna-
getting yelled at.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
let us take a quick break here, and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
try to get it out of Johnny, and
Yeah.
then we'll tell you what it is. We'll be right back. Spice Car Radio. You know what? There are a lot of weird things you find in cars, and I'm not talking about garden variety petrified French fries or melted crayons or crumbs. I'm talking about live snakes, bizarre artifacts, the kind of stuff that just makes you wonder about people. Another thing that will make you wonder, but in a good way, are Continental belts. Bet you didn't know they're OE in tens of millions of Chrysler, Dodge, and Ford GM vehicles that roll off the assembly line. They're also OE on the majority of BMWs and VWs. Now, Continental is launching the aftermarket multi-V belt with the OE pedigree. It's their OE technology series, belts that are fanatically engineered for perfect fit, form, and function. And Continental has an OE Technology Series multi-V belt for 98% of the vehicles on the road in the United States and Canada. Hey, you get enough surprises working on cars and trucks, a belt should not be one of those surprises. Go with the Continental OE Technology Series multi-V belt, the belt with the OE pedigree. To get the full story, visit oetechnologyseries.com, oetechnologyseries.com.
You're listening to Spike's Car Radio.
We're here with Jonny Lieberman, author at Motor Trend. Author. Why
yeah.
not? Why
Car
not
writer.
writer?
Car writer. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Car
Exec, studio
guy,
exec.
Do
video
you,
guy.
Do you pitch the stories
Yeah.
in Motor Trend?
I mean,
do you come up with
it's a
these
mix.
ideas,
It's a
or
mix.
do you, every week is at work you're like, hey, I've got to write a couple bits and pieces?
So for head to head, Jethro and I come up with everything. And then, for instance, I just was driving around in a 1992 Toyota Century. Totally amazing. And that happened because I went to Tokyo a few weeks ago to get a tour of the Century plant and drive the current 2019 Century around. And I was talking with our executive editor, Mark Recton, about the story. And I said, hey, my buddy Joe has like 2 Toyota Centuries here in L.A. And he's like, oh, you should write something about those. And then today I pick up an Urus, and we also have an SVJ coming into the office. And I said, hey, it'd be a cool story. The SVJ is the record holder on the Nürburgring for production cars. And the
well,
Urus...
technically. Isn't the GT2 RS with that special little package beat it?
Oh, yeah, but you could do a special little package on
so
a
it's
lot of
number
cars.
2.
No, it's number 1. Production cars. That's not a street legal thing that Porsche sells.
It's 2. But yes,
it's
continue.
1. It's 1. Anyways, and the Urus is the fastest SUV around the Nürburgring.
I love that car.
And I said, hey, at Big Willow, which is kind of our home track,
Yeah.
the GT2 RS is currently the record holder.
Yeah.
And the BMW X6M is currently the quickest SUV. So what if on one day we got both Lambos and broke both records? So
Wow.
we're executing that this week, right? This week and next week. Yeah.
And
so that
where?
was my
At
idea.
the Nürburgring?
No, at Big Willow.
At Big Willow.
Yeah, Willow Springs.
That's
Big
going to be
track.
great.
It's going to be awesome.
Wow. That'll be a nice drive.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be super fun.
How do you pronounce the Urus?
I say Urus.
Urus.
I only say that because...
I loved it. I just drove it. I loved it. It's
amazing.
I really loved it. And
It's
I've
the-
never
it-
loved any of these high-powered SUVs, but this one really was fun because all the Lamborghini insides were there, and it felt like something different
The
and
geometric interior was so well executed.
fun. And you saw it leap off. I took off in front of your office.
Down Olympic, and he hammered it. The thing squatted like an animal. It squatted down and leapt forward, really like a charging bull. It was remarkable to see, and everybody. It was another holiday, and all of the people going to the synagogue were shocked and horrified.
By the way, it's right on the same street and the same block where that guy crashed in the Turbo S.
Yes, yes.
Crashed into the street light.
Yes.
Right? I guess I showed him up, huh?
Yep.
That's how you do it.
But that was remarkable. A remarkable feat.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with that car. So Maurizio Reggiani sort of has this I don't know, special projects team, let's call it. So it's me, this guy named Charlie Turner from he's editor-in-chief of Top Gear. George Cocker, who's an Austrian dude, writes for Automobile and a bunch of other publications. And then this guy, usually it's this guy Christian Gebhardt, who writes for Automoto und Sport. And so we're like his little guinea pigs. And when he has new Lamborghinis, he brings us in early. And the cars are about 95% done.
Wow.
And then we get to drive them and then sit down with the engineers and be like, I'd change this if you can, or I'd do this.
Right.
So we did the Urus, and it was awesome. So they had V-boxes on them. So that's just a little thing that tells you your acceleration time. And basically had a contest like who can get to 60 miles an hour quickest, or 100 kilometers an hour, but still who can do it quickest. So we spent an hour just trying to beat each other on this big tarmac in Italy, and then got to do laps with them. And the car, it's one of those cars, everybody who hasn't driven it just instantly hates it. They hate the idea of it.
Yeah.
And once you drive it, you're like, wow, that's actually really good.
It's addicting. It's my favorite quality of a car. It's addicting. I think about it when I'm in the house. What can I do to get in this car again? What errand can I run?
Yeah.
I really loved it. And then I love the whole Lamborghini lineage in an SUV. It's like one of the few fast SUVs. I don't know why I don't connect with the Porsche SUVs at all. I just don't, because I like the cars so much. But this, I don't have a Lamborghini.
I love the
just
connection,
thought
as you
I
point
like
out,
that
to the
Lamborghini
LM,
thing.
too.
Oh, the LMO2, yeah, for sure. But I'll give you a Porsche connection to the Urus. So a little birdie told me that Porsche Motorworks, so the guys who build the GT3 and all the race cars and everything, they did the Urus motor. They did the V8.
Well, there you go.
And Lambo's not giving them credit for it. And they're
Wow.
Yeah, so they're kind of like, that was us. We tuned that. And they did a great job.
So maybe that's what I'm noticing. Maybe
Nah,
that's why
it's just
it grabbed me.
It's just a great engine. But no, it's a, I don't want to say parts bin, but it's like all the really good stuff at Volkswagen Group, right? So that chassis is really good. They have really good, suspension components that they could choose from. That transmission, actually, I think it's a ZF transmission, so that's from a supplier. It's a Porsche tweaked Audi engine. It's like all like tip of the spear stuff, and there's the biggest brakes ever fit to a production vehicle from Brembo. So it's
But the Range Rover Sport SVR, which has similar performance stats, but not as fast, doesn't...
I wouldn't say similar, but it's also a hopped-up SUV.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like
some...
some weird Frankenstein monster as opposed to this thing, which feels like a Lamborghini.
And
that's
so
bigger.
I was talking with Reggioni because he said, look, none of us at Lamborghini currently have ever built an SUV. So we have no idea. So what we did was we said, we're Lamborghini, it should be fast.
Right.
So we went and got all the fast SUVs out there. And they ultimately settled on the BMW X6M, which has long been my favorite go-fast SUV. Just there's something magic. Don't ask. Something magic about that car. Love driving it. And he said, and he asked me, he said, "What's your favorite?" I said, "The X6M." He goes, "Me too." And we're driving the Uruses around the Nardo infield track, and then he goes, "Don't tell anyone." I think it's okay if I tell people. "Don't tell anyone, but we have an X6M here if you want to drive it." I was like, "Yeah," and it felt old and slow and wooden and terrible. And then I was chasing the other journalists in the Urus, lost him in two corners, couldn't even see him on the track. Like that's how slow.
Wow.
Which again is our current record holder. The X6M is quicker around Big Willow than a BMW M4. So it's like it's a real thing, and the Urus just like gapped it.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Are you a good racer?
No.
No.
I will not crash a car on a racetrack, and that makes me slow.
Right.
I'm also terrible at racetrack braking. I brake way too early.
Right.
I brake way too early.
gentle.
Yeah.
But why do you
I can push the accelerator as hard as anybody else. And
Yes.
I can steer pretty well, but braking is my downfall.
How can you do that Chris Harris drift in the turn?
Nah.
You can't do
But
that.
Jethro, my partner,
he does it,
like,
right?
Chris Harris looks like a budget version of Jethro.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jethro's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's Jethro, he flies here to do the show, huh?
We fly everywhere. So we did this one in Colorado and Utah. The one before that, we went from Monaco to Barcelona.
So they're giving you some money to make this show.
Well, there's a little bit of money. Like, if I told you the actual budget, you'd start laughing if you've ever done, and I know you have, done real TV. But,
I don't think I would start laughing.
Oh, you'd start laughing. It's pretty laughable. But we do,
$100,000 an episode.
No comment. We'll talk off the air.
If you're flying and you're traveling.
But I think way
Are you guys
less than
shooting
that.
this yourself?
I think way less than that. No, we have a crew. I mean,
You have a crew? That gets expensive.
It does, but
That's
it's
expensive.
way less than 100. Actually, with our new crew,
You've got editing?
Yeah, you don't count that because they're
I
employees.
count it.
They're
I have a production
employees.
company. I definitely count
They're
it.
employees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the total kitty.
That's
I
where
don't
all
know.
my money goes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they spend something.
Do you get
but it's
notes
not-
on this show, or do you just put it together yourself and deal with it? You
You
know what I'm saying? Is there an executive
yeah.
who comes in and goes, "Look, Johnny"?
Sometimes. So we have a creative director.
Yeah.
And they'll give some notes, but it's not a ton.
That's
I'd
great.
say we have like 98% control.
Fantastic.
On the last, yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
Wow.
It's super awesome. I love
That's a perfect situation then.
it. Yeah, you know.
So
There's other variables.
what do we have going on? Are you headed into your 8th season right now, or is it?
No, we just wrapped the 4th show of our 8th season of. I think we're only doing 11 this year. We didn't get off the ground in time.
That's
but,
great.
Usually do 12. Yeah, no, it's going good, and we got the big news at Motor Trend is we just bought, or I don't know, bought's the wrong word, but we have Top Gear's back catalog, and we're making a new Top Gear USA, which we're putting together, and we're going to be casting and producing the show. So yeah, if you want to watch old Top Gear starting June 4th, you go to the Motor
Fantastic.
Trend app.
Well, that's going to get people to sign up.
Yeah, we have seasons 2 through 24.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Fantastic.
Then if you want to watch new Top Gear UK in the US, you do it through the app.
Okay.
So it's something you can't do right now.
I noticed you were taking some heat on the internet. What
was
didn't you?
taking
You did a
Me?
post where you were you put up one of your mean tweets that someone was writing something negative about you,
that.
and you posted the whole thing. Which
Yeah,
really made
well,
me
that
laugh
was
when I
a
read it.
letter to the editor, and my editor.
Oh, that was a letter to the
yeah,
editor.
and I could read it if you want.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Let me pull it up. But no, my editor.
This was. I like when I read this stuff. I like seeing this stuff because everybody feels like they're the only people who get this crap on the internet.
Oh,
and
well, this-
Jimmy Kimmel does mean tweets.
This was pretty mean, but he even said, he goes, "This one's really mean. Do you want me to read it?
But
you won't even see it."
I
And was
like that you
yeah.
took the power out of it and just put it up there, and it made me laugh when I read it. Just
All right, so
think-
here I'll just read it in its entirety. As an avid reader of Motor Trend for over 25 years, I want to thank you for the countless articles, stories, and editorials that I have greatly enjoyed. Motor Trend has been my go-to, in quotes for some reason, source for automobile knowledge and fun for years. Recently, however, it seems that Motor Trend has lost its way by hiring and featuring editor Lieberman and pen, voice, and pick. I'll also add, I'm coming up with my 9th year, so recently this guy is... all right, pen, voice, and pick. He has to go. Automotive journalism is only enjoyable when you can relate to the author. So the guy who missed the high five on Jay Leno's Garage, the guy who started every sentence with, on Barrett Jackson, the guy who wears his grandmother's glasses, the guy who insists on calling himself Johnny, in quotes, as if he were a 5-year-old, and yes, the guy who looks like an unmade bed, which is a really good line.
That's good.
Yeah, I've embraced that. Has to go. His only positive effect on me is that he is making me save my money, and my children are happy about that. Their inheritance is safe. However, any car Lieberman touches, I no longer want. He single-handedly is killing my passion for cars. In result, Lieberman is saving me the trouble of buying any other high-end sports cars. I hope that the whole staff of Motor Trend will stop featuring the face only a mother could love. You folks seem to actually believe this guy who made the term doofus relevant in the 21st century somehow believes he is, in some alternate universe, cool, insightful, knowledgeable, or relevant. You are committing a great disservice to your readership by constantly providing a platform for this moron. If it wasn't for your other talented editors, writers, and staff, I would have canceled my subscription long ago. For the love of God, show him the door.
Wow.
Sign
Congratulations.
who?
Yeah.
Sign your biggest fan.
I can't remember his name. He was from Florida. I remember
That guy, they're always from Florida. That
He's
guy
from
loves
Florida.
you. Look at how much Johnny Lieberman he's watching.
A lot. If he's watching
a lot. I
Jay Leno
hate him so
and Barrett
much. I
Jackson.
watch him everywhere. I hate him.
Well, I started.
Let
the
me even
quote-
write about him when I'm not watching him.
No, I started the quote with my favorite line from the Howard Stern movie, which was like, people that love him listen 1 hour a day, and people that hate him listen
that's
2.
right.
Yeah.
No.
So,
No, this
yeah.
is as I've said
I like
before
it.
to many people, especially the journalists who are now in front of the camera, this is a sign of success.
Absolutely.
This
Yeah.
is a sign of success when this starts happening.
I just want to point out though, this is not the first.
Of course not.
Thing I've ever gone. He left out the anti-Semitism angle. Usually I get like, why would Mercedes-Benz let a Jew drive their cars?
An unmade bed Jew.
Unmade bed is really good.
Yeah.
I'll give him hats off.
You Jew, you unmade bed.
Well, but he forgot that. He could have. He had a whole other,
We've all been
color
changed by
palette.
the white supremacists. That's happened to every
But he
one
has a
of
whole
us.
other color palette to paint from, and he's just leaving it on the table there. You know, if you're gonna
I
hate
love
someone,
it. It really entertained me.
Yeah. Good.
And,
Well, I'm glad.
And I was really happy for you that you're made in a way. You're made. It's
You're
like
made, man.
it's Conan
An
O'Brien
unmade man.
went on when he was first brought in to replace David Letterman, and he went into Howard Stern, and Howard Stern ripped him apart. He said, "I was just made." Howard Stern just ripped me apart on his radio show,
Worthy
and now
of
I am
derision.
worthy of derision. Exactly right.
very good.
It was my second favorite post, actually, because the Jason Torchinsky post from Jalopnik about his hair twirl that comes in front and his inability to understand why people want him to cut that.
I miss that.
He goes, why do people keep saying to cut this weird
forelock.
stringy hair he puts in
Right.
front of his forehead? And I should reach out to him and tell him he does need to cut it.
Does he?
He does.
It's kind of his signature thing.
That's not. It's a bad signature.
Is it?
Yeah, he needs a new signature.
Oh, no.
It's because it's the difference between. And I've done this. I was a writer who jumped in front of the camera, and you immediately get a big dose of here's what you look like to us and what's
yeah.
distracting
Oh, it's
about you. We
horrible.
like you, but for
yeah.
me, it was like you've got Ellen DeGeneres' hair, and you kind of look like an old lesbian, Spike, and that's. From there, I had a team of publicists at the time. We were like, "Yeah, the glasses are wrong, the jeans, why the oversized shirts? You know what I mean?" And you fix a couple things to make yourself a little more presentable, so people will listen to you.
See, I've done nothing because
You're fine. You're fine.
all
But
the feedback I get from internally is nothing. And
Yes.
and since day one, I'm like, hey, can we get a wardrobe budget? And they're
yeah.
like,
No, you're
No.
fine. I've been
Yeah.
watching you. You're totally fine. His fans, Jason's fans, Jason's great, and he's a great
Yeah, I know
writer. He's a
Jason.
really
Yeah.
funny writer, and
Yeah.
we had him on Karma. I really like him. But I do want him to cut that thing. It's
Really?
just going to interfere. It's just interfering a little bit with our enjoyment of his great bits.
Interesting. All right,
It's
all
it's distracting. It's like any other thing.
I've
like
never even thought about
the
it.
American viewing public
Yeah.
are like cats.
They are.
And if you start waving a little feather in front of them while they're trying to watch, you see what I mean?
Kind of.
That's what they're saying to him. This is
Okay.
a very subtle little thing that they're saying. We're very sensitive.
So I need
Television and entertainment is a souffle. You don't want a stamp next to it or the souffle goes down.
So I need to lose weight and convert to another religion.
No, you
apparently.
don't. It's
Oh,
not about weight.
It's
about any other. It's about any little thing that
Distraction.
might be distracting you from the watching.
Got it.
And in this
Got it.
particular case, as a fan, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, admittedly, I'm a fan of Jason
Yeah.
Torchinsky's
No,
and
no.
yours.
Okay.
But Jason, you need to cut the damn
All
thing.
right. I don't think he's going to cut it. 'Cause I feel like I've known Jason.
Now,
not.
now it's a point of
I've known
resistance.
Jason for
It is,
probably 12
but he should give in.
years, and I think he's had that for 12
Do
years.
you remember Mike Spinelli? And
I love Mike
and the
Spinelli.
very long hair.
I love the
So
long
we
hair.
all love Mike Spinelli. We
the
all love
best.
the content, but the hair was distracting.
Really?
And then he
See,
cut.
but you're going to tell me to shave my beard or something.
Your beard isn't distracting.
Oh,
That's
good,
a very
yeah.
acceptable thing these days. This isn't about you.
I
about
thought I
Jason.
was your guest. I thought it is about me.
No, it's not
Oh,
about you.
oh,
This
oh,
is
in that
just you're
case.
one of the few
I-
people I can
I
say
like
this to,
Spinelli's
and you
hair.
know all of these people,
yeah,
and
but-
as do I.
But I like Spinelli's hair. I thought it was.
Well,
you
he
know,
cut it off.
I know.
He did the right thing.
No.
And now he's moved up a level. He has
Not
moved
'cause
up.
of the hair.
Exactly
No,
because
see,
of the hair.
You were in actual TV for way too long, and they conditioned
I'm
you
still
to
in
think
it.
like. Well, then they conditioned you to think like that.
I'm a producer.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
trying to produce him
Yeah.
to increase his
No,
audience,
the hair was
and it
great.
worked.
The hair was great. Hey, he's an old heavy metal guy. He should have long hair.
No.
Yes.
No, he was getting the feedback.
Mike, grow it back. Grow it back. The feedback.
Don't do it, Spinelli.
I'm also terrible with feedback. That's one of my big things at work. Is they're like, you can't take criticism. I'm
Well,
like,
Well, that's you got to be able to, because that's a little bit of an. You can't make it all about self-esteem when you get criticism, and it's hard not to. It's hard not to take it personally and crack a little bit.
But there's some truth in the feedback. There's some truth there. You just have to be able to sift through it. But I agree, it's horrible. You know,
Doesn't make you a bad person.
No.
When they give you criticism, it doesn't make you bad.
well, I could also just be a bad person and have criticism. So let's not discount that fact.
Well, Jonny Lieberman, we're out of time, my friend.
Whoa, yeah. Sorry about the flat tire. But...
His new show is not his new show.
Oh, the new
New
season
season
of
of
my
the show is
old
Head to Head.
Yeah,
It's on the Motor Trend app.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
only
yeah.
what? It's just a few dollars a month.
$5 a month. How
can
much
get-
is that coffee you're holding? $4.95.
This I make at my house
Well,
with a little Keurig, so it's really 48 cents is
yeah,
where I worked
all
it
right,
out
all
to.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
But we get the
my
point.
Alfred's,
It's-
my Alfred's
per
coffee.
month, but if you do that per month, 48 cents times
You're talking
30.
about my Alfred's flat white, non-fat,
yeah,
is
yeah.
$6 every cup.
All right, so $5 a month.
No.
Totally worth it.
And
You
here's
can
what's
watch
nice
us
about
and
it.
Roadkill and all kinds of cool
The
stuff.
Motor Trend app is available on my Apple TV,
It is?
and I can watch it like any other network.
Yeah.
And,
And we're
geez,
adding new stuff all the time and Top Gear if you're into that kind of thing.
yeah, and that's all I.
yeah.
That's all I really care about.
Cool.
Anyway.
Can I do one more plug?
Please. Do you like that, Spike? He's about to murder me. You answer.
Well, this is
I wasn't going to say no.
Oh,
I just
okay.
like that you want to hear it.
No.
What do you want?
I'm wearing. It's actually Matt's shirt. I'm wearing.
Oh, I've seen that
Blip
shirt
Shift
before.
Yeah, this was the one that is to the Malibu Fires, is to help pay for, I think, displaced people and firefighter funds and all that kind of stuff.
That's still going on.
No, but I'm selling shirts on.
Is this
Blip
Blip
now.
Shift?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Blip Shift.
Well, I have my own store.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have
Maybe that's where we need to do Spike's Car Radio's merch. Is at Blip Shift.
You should.
Let's
They're
do it.
great.
Maybe that's.
I'll get you in touch. I know the guy.
Let me ask you this
Yeah.
before you plug your shirts on
Okay.
Blip Shift,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
huge
yeah.
fan of their site. I've been
Yeah.
buying their
Yeah.
stuff since they started.
I can't stop buying it. Yeah,
Can
that's the problem.
Will they do all the work?
Yeah.
Because I'm too busy. I'll
No,
give them a couple
they
ideas.
literally-
And
that's what they're doing with me.
Okay.
I can't.
Tell me what
I
you're doing.
failed cutting and pasting in kindergarten.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm the least artistic human alive.
Right.
And I was like, listen, because they said, hey, we want to do a shirt with you, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work, right?
Right.
Anyways, then I said, okay, let's do this. I've been doing this parking is hard thing for about a year on Instagram, and I just take pictures
I like
of
that.
cars
Right.
parked horribly.
Love
We
that.
hate that.
Yeah.
We hate it.
And I just hashtag
really
parking
funny.
is hard. So I said, listen, let's do a parking is hard shirt. And they showed me a design. I said, no, that's awful. And then they showed me another design. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let's do that. And it actually sold well. And we're gonna do more. And
You're going to make a little money from that?
I'm making a little money from that.
All right.
A little money from that.
Enough to
keep
buy
me,
the
it'll
Motor
keep me in
Trend app
flat
every
tires.
month? Okay. Got it.
It'll keep me in new tires when I pop more tires.
Right.
But the next one is it's a really good one. It's a Bavarian Parking Academy. So we can't actually print BMW, but it'll be very obvious what it
Right.
is. Yeah.
Right.
It'll be very obvious.
That's great.
So that should be out by the time this podcast goes live.
Well, there you
whenever
go.
that
Let's
is.
get on it, Spike. I've got a bunch of T-shirt ideas.
So blipshift.com/Johnny. Blipshift.com/Johnny. That's it. That's my plan.
There you have it.
All right.
Zuckerman, you have anything to promote, my friend?
Well, just if you've been in an accident, call Carpenter Zuckerman and Rowley. You or a loved one. Yep.
Do you know he's a real lawyer? He's got his own
Yeah.
firm, the
My
biggest
wife's a
PI
lawyer.
firm?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She
What kind of
defends
law?
lawyers accused of malpractice.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I better get her.
Yeah.
Lieberman and Zuckerman. Yes. There you go. And follow me on Instagram. That's the only place I'll interact with you, and I try to answer as many messages as I can.
Same here.
Post some pictures. I love you all. We'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio. Quick before we go, 60 seconds. That's exactly how long this commercial lasts. You know what else you can do in about a minute? Get an offer with your car from TrueCar. That's right. In the amount of time it takes to floss your teeth, pet your dog, do a few sit-ups, just listen to my voice, you can get a true cash offer. Best of all, you can do it from your smartphone or at home. Just go to TrueCar and simply enter your license plate number and watch how your car's details pop up. Answer a few questions and you'll get an accurate true cash offer from local TrueCar certified dealer. It's that easy. After that, you can bring your car in and they'll check it out with you together, the two of you. You can even hug if you want. You can ask questions, get the answers you need, so there's no surprises, then simply leave your check or trade in your car for a new ride. So when you're ready to experience a new, better way to sell or trade in your car, check out TrueCar today.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio. Download new episodes every Wednesday on the Podcast One app or subscribe now at Apple Podcasts or PodcastOne.com.
Hey, it's Ross Tucker from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Check out the Under Review Show with host Damon D here at Podcast One, presented by BetOnline.ag.
Get the odds, news, and insights from real industry insiders. This isn't your typical schlocky picks show. Download new episodes of Under Review, presented by BetOnline every week on Apple Podcasts and Podcast One.
Hey guys, time to get in on the action for the biggest moments in basketball with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projections, place your entry, and win up to 100 times your money. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app and use the code GET100. That's code GET100 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
Ever tried reading while jogging? cooking, or even juggling flaming torches? Yeah, it doesn't end well. But with audiobooks.com, you can conquer books without the circus act. Dive into over 450,000 titles, including more than 10,000 free ones. Get hooked on a bestseller, find your next obsession, or finally read that classic you've been avoiding since high school. And here's the inside scoop. Sign up today for a free 30-day trial and snag your first 3 audiobooks on the house. Sign up for your free trial at audiobooks.com/podcastfree today. That's audiobooks.com/podcastfree.